My name is Michael Potelsky. I am the Director of Operational Excellence here at INX International Inc. Company. My role specifically is to assist with our Industry 4.0 initiatives. So here at INX Charlotte, it's a manufacturing environment, traditionally with a 3-shift operation. We run a first, second, third shift, Monday through Friday, and what we manufacture is 2-piece metal ink. That ink gets applied to the outside of the aluminum beverage can at can manufacturers. So when you're walking into the retail sector, whether it's a Harris Teeter or Kroger or Walmart, and you're walking down the aluminum can beverage aisle, whether it's soda or beer, all ink on the outside of those beverage cans are coming from this facility in Southwest Charlotte. We have about 99% of all of that business within North America, and we are international at many other countries too. AssetWatch is one of our key partners here at the site, and we're looking to integrate AssetWatch to couple it with our Odin Technologies platform so that all systems can talk with each other. Utilizing the AssetWatch app and desktop monitoring, and like I mentioned, our weekly engineering calls with AssetWatch, we're able to look at that trend analysis and identify what our gaps and our mean time between failure actuals are versus our targets. And now for the first time, we're actually achieving those targets year over year over the last 5 years. So we're very happy with what AssetWatch has provided us so far, not only with minimizing and eliminating the long-term downtime events that we've had in the past, but also with all of the data collection and trend analysis and the reporting that the dashboard provides us. We wanted to invest in AssetWatch and expedite the whole process with their integration because what we were seeing in the past were catastrophic long-term downtime events with our mills and supporting equipment. With that comes obviously a lot of ink that we were not making during those downtime events. And when AssetWatch provided the offerings that they had with their system with regard to predictive monitoring, we jumped on it very quickly.
My name is Borpit Intawiwat. I'm the Director of Engineering for Process Technology and Automation. Before AssetWatch was brought on board, it was more of a reactive situation. When the equipment breaks down, we'd be scrambling to find out the cause of why the breakdown occurred. What made the motor stop. And it was like trying to put out a fire, a forest fire. And then when you have multiple of these forest fires, it's just all production stopped. We couldn't get any product out the door. And our customers were calling us all the time, saying, "Where's my ink? Where's my ink?"
Joe Torsha, I'm the plant engineer. I take care of the maintenance department here. Before AssetWatch, we had a lot of firehouse type maintenance going on. We were rushing from one problem to another. We were inundated with too many catastrophic issues. We knew we had lots of problems that we were facing, but we just didn't have time to get to them in time before they became major downtime events by catastrophes.
We had 2 potential catastrophic situations where AssetWatch really helped us visualize what was going on with both of those pieces of equipment. Those 2 pieces of equipment alone saved us enough money from an ROI standpoint to pay for our AssetWatch subscription for the next 2.5 years. Not to mention all the ink production that we could have lost if both of those pieces of equipment would have seen that long-term downtime. So from an ROI standpoint, we feel confident in what AssetWatch is providing. Obviously, we don't want to have situations where even AssetWatch is identifying potential situations, but in the case where the sensors and the engineers are picking up, trend analysis where, hey, we need to have our maintenance department specifically look at certain instances. So far, it's been very smooth to work with AssetWatch and make sure that we don't have these catastrophic breakdowns.
Vibration analysis is one of the most widely used out there. We had trialed some other sensors before in the past, and they worked off of Bluetooth, so you had to walk up to them with your phone and connect to it. There's way more benefits from having a sensor that's connected via your hotspot and hubs, and we get the real-time data that we're getting from AssetWatch.
Preventive maintenance tools have been around for a long time. They're mainly for oil and gas industries, things that run in steady state conditions that don't change very, very, very often. In our industry now, and particularly in our processes, we have a lot of SKUs. That means different motor draws, different power consumptions, different vibrational patterns, things that traditional tools can't process very effectively. And when we talk to these other companies, they're like, well, yeah, we can do it. I know you can, but can you adapt your tools to our processes? And most of the time the answer is, let us try, and it's usually not very effective. When we brought in AssetWatch, one of the key components that they had was the artificial intelligence component of it. So what they did do was they analyzed the vibrational patterns of our motors, of our bearings, and then, this is exciting for us, is that there is a human component that actually analyzes it or confirms what AI is predicting. And without that human component, we're just kind of like, well, maybe it's true, maybe it's not. It's unconfirmed. So as the human component teaches the AI improves and gets better and better. We get emails or alerts multiple times through a day. A lot of these emails that says, we have a abnormal vibration pattern on, for example, AM1 mill. Can you go check it out? Or they'll say, this vibration pattern indicates that you need to add some grease into the bearing. Could you please do it? And there's a learning feedback loop in there, because when we actually do what they ask, and they give us feedback saying, yep, that vibration pattern diminished, went down, and minimized, that's the positive feedback, and then we can act on it. So yeah, this AssetWatch is working for us.
We have a dust collector system here to ensure that our operation is clean. It's a clean working environment. We're dealing with a lot of dust and pigment with regard to our operation. So an important piece of our equipment that we have here at the facility is a dust collector. We ended up having a bearing problem within that unit, and AssetWatch was able to predictively tell us, please have your maintenance department check on this. Prior to AssetWatch, if we were in a traditional model and we were just trying to follow up on that based on preventative maintenance or catastrophic breakdown, we did not have the parts on hand in order to replace it. So if it would have catastrophically failed, we would have been down for about 6.5 weeks because we would have had to source the parts without knowing that the unit was going into failure. So with the information that AssetWatch provided us, we were able to predictively tell what was going on. Our maintenance techs went out, verified that we had a bearing problem. They were able to source the spare part in time, and it was a 3-hour change out instead of having multiple weeks where the plant would have been down for about 6 weeks. We were able to see on the onset 2 different events from a predictive monitoring standpoint that kept us from a 3-week shutdown with our dust collector. And then we also had a predictive monitor alert that came up on one of our motors on one of our main pieces of equipment that would have been a 6-week downtime event. And we were able to get ahead of that with our maintenance team based on the information that AssetWatch provided us. So during our weekly meetings with the AssetWatch engineers, they provided us the trend analysis based on both of those pieces of equipment, and we were able to do routine preventative maintenance on both of those pieces of equipment in order to keep ourselves from long-term downtime.
The analysis and monitoring of these motors is critical, especially the bearing unit is critical. If we can schedule a preventive maintenance in to replace parts that are predicting to be worn before our next maintenance cycle, that's a huge cost savings. When a motor goes down and we don't have parts to repair it, it's not only the cost of the motor, it's the cost of the air shipment of that motor in, the lost downtime of production. It's a cascading effect that we have no control over. With AssetWatch, at least we have some control over what we can repair and replace. Without the predictive analytics from AssetWatch, we always ran equipment to failure because we didn't know when the equipment would stop working. But now, we've got tools to prevent that from happening. Changing the culture of any organization is difficult, especially when there's no feedback or response back from that change. What AssetWatch has done for us is to provide that feedback to enable culture change. In addition, management themselves have to push down from top, says, this is what you got to do. It's all top-down driven.
AssetWatch had one of their technicians that came out and helped install all the equipment. We had one of our technicians lead them around to the different pieces of machinery. We got everything located where it needed to be. After we had everything going and set up, we did a lot of collaboration with them so that everybody could understand how our equipment actually worked. And they did take the time so that they could understand that, so we had better information coming from them as well. With the CME, we have a recurring meeting that we go over any open items that we're continuing to watch or monitor, bring things back up and talk about them, where they're at and what we're doing about them, and see how they are. If we have anything that comes up, we have the ability to send the messages either through the AssetWatch app or the system, or we can pick up the phone and call. Every time we've had no problem getting a hold of anybody and answered every question we've had so far. Having somebody else that was on board and actually watching it all the time, that was a huge benefit right off the bat.
So as Director of Operational Excellence for INX, we're using the Charlotte location as a baseline hub to try out new technology, partner with new companies like AssetWatch. And then once we prove it out here at the showcase site, we are then horizontally deploying that technology and those systems out to our other sites. So we're very happy with what AssetWatch has provided us so far, not only with minimizing and eliminating the long-term downtime events that we've had in the past, but also with all of the data collection and trend analysis and the reporting that the dashboard provides us.